How are you? And welcome to Rugby Tonight, the best bits. We've got another great show lined up for you as we're joined in the studio by England legend Mike Tindall and Wales captain Sam Warburton. We'll also hear from Scotland star Grant Gilchrist. And we have the usual insight and analysis from Brian O'Driscoll, Ugo Monye and the rest of the team. Enjoy. So, how are you? You've had time to just kind of relax and cool down and reflect a bit on the World Cup. And did you enjoy the final? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of weeks off, which has been quite nice. I was in bits after the South Africa game. Watched the game out on holiday, so missed the first half, saw the second half, and I'm glad Australia came back and made a good game of it, but it was a cracking final in the end.
Can we talk about Wales and Wales World Cup? You know, you were bedeviled by injuries, Sam. You know, you got to look at how you went with the context of all those injuries. 10 injuries from frontline players from prep day up until that quarter-final, was it?
I can't believe, going to World Cup, the chances are you're going to get 2 or 3. To have 8, 9 or 10, going back to John Davis when he got injured playing for Claremont at the end of last season, you just don't expect that to happen. But it's nice to know that we did call on players who came into, huge, really high-profile games, managed to play really well. And it's always a what-if question with Wales. Obviously, 4 years ago, it's what if Adam Jones didn't go off with a bad calf and the red card, and this year is going to be talking about what if it wasn't for the injuries. So hopefully in 4 years, it is a little bit, but I think we were quite lucky in the sense that I think you're better losing injuries in the back line than a forward pack. I think we were fortunate that we could go all 5 games and pretty much pick a full-strength forward pack, and you really need that unity up front, so I think that was good for us.
I just want to talk about Sam Burgess. A lot of people have a lot to say over the past few weeks about it, just to kind of bring everyone up to scratch on what's happening. There's been rumours about him returning to rugby league from the day he arrived here, because I think in Australia they really, really miss him. Don't forget his brothers are there, his mum is there as well. Of course, after the World Cup, the rumours just got stronger and stronger. There's rumours that representatives from the Rabbitohs, his old club, possibly his new club again, have been over looking for a way out for him. Just rumours at the moment. I haven't spotted anything. I don't know if you have. His brother has got involved and he said, Sam is at a bit of a crossroads in his career. He feels he's been treated quite harshly and he's kind of look at things a little bit. It's difficult. I think he's saying he's at a bit of a crossroads is interesting. It must mean the conversations are happening. And then there was something yesterday that felt a bit more solid, Sarra.
I mean, the Press Association released a tweet yesterday afternoon and they don't release tweets, I don't think, unless there's something to it, do they? So let's have a look at the tweet that was released. Full story. And Sam Burgess tells ex-teammates he's going back to league. Ugo, let's start with you. What's your take on it all?
Well, first of all, I think there's a bit of misplaced anger and hatred towards him. I think people are blaming him for the demise of England rugby team. Certainly not one man, it's certainly not him. We're selfish as rugby players, as sportsmen. You get an opportunity to play in a World Cup and a home World Cup, you certainly take it, regardless how long you've been in the game. I feel rugby union's let him down. Bath took him under his wing, played him at 6, and he effectively had a pre-season to learn how to play centre. And Drico, you played for a long time. It takes a bit longer than that to actually get into it. They're obviously in a bit of a quandary at the moment with Bath. I mean, they've invested a lot of money into it.
Brian, what's your take on it? Is he a master of his own destiny, or has he just had some bad advice?
He is, because he can call the shots now. He's a good enough player. Coming from league to call it as he wants to. He's 2 options. He can probably. I think centres in the UK and Ireland, past and present, were all saying that this guy is a 6. He's a back rower. And then Bath played him there, to the end of the season, played in the Premiership final in May. And then, as Ugo said, he had the summer to learn how to play centre, and particularly to defend at centre. Now, his alternative option is, to fight and stay for a year and a half and learn the trades as a number 6, which he's very capable of doing. Or he can go back to a role that he's totally comfortable, totally at ease with, in an environment that he loved, with his family. It kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. We'll have to wait. The next couple of days are going to tell a huge amount.
Let's look ahead to the Six Nations, shall we? That's what we do now. I know it's a while away, Mike, but I'm interested in your take on what you would do with that England backline. Even now in the early days of the Premiership's return, we're seeing guys putting their hands up going, hang on, you missed me out first time, you're not going to miss me out come February.
Yeah, I think you saw that straight away. You can see that Luther Burrell first weekend was playing for something. He proved a point, and I think that's what it's there for now. You're out there to prove that you should have been there. The selection is always a talking point. So you want to put your hand up now and go, look, well, you did get it wrong. Look, pick me sort of thing. I think it's great to have the Premiership back and everyone focusing back on it, and we'll just see how it goes. Obviously, there's a lot of things to go on behind the scenes at England Rugby in terms of getting the coaching sorted and get this review out the way, and then we can just solely concentrate on the Six Nations.
Sam, what backline would the Welsh fear the most?
I look at England. I think they got such a big player pool. Like they showed that when they came to Cardiff in February. They had injuries then. They came to the Millennium. And they beat us, you know, and I think there's quite a few combinations they could pick there. I think it just depends on what style of play they go for, you know. I think, you know, when you pick a team, you pick a team based on your style of play and what you want to get out of the game, not necessarily the opposition. You know, you want to play to your strengths, I think. So it depends what game plan they choose, whether they want to sort of batter it up front, go for gain line, or whether they want to go expansive. Really.
What do you not want as a Wales player? What do you not want to play?
I find it personally difficult. You know, when you're playing against sides who are very creative in the back line, I find that personally more difficult.
So we're talking about Kyle Eastman, we're talking about Jonathan Joseph, we're talking about Luther Burrell, we're talking about these guys.
You still need your guy to get your gain line, but I think in general, you know, I think the teams like Australia, New Zealand, you know, if you do an analysis, they're the most difficult teams to play against.
I think if anything we learned from the World Cup is how England played in the Six Nations, scoring 18 tries, is how they should have gone forward into that World Cup and how they wanted to play. Then you watch the World Cup games and how you saw the likes of Argentina, who just left everything on the field, chanced their arm, played their brand of rugby that they were happy to play. Even when they lost, people were so happy to watch them. And I think that's something England's got to walk away from and not worry about how they think they should attack another team, but just going out there and putting what they believe in on the field, and that will get the fans behind them as well.
Now, Edinburgh, Scotland's Lord Grant Gilchrist has called in to join us. He was actually going to be here, wasn't he? But bad weather conditions and cancelled flights put an end to all of that. So Grant was a part of Scotland's successful World Cup campaign, of course, only for it to end way too soon with an injury sustained against the USA. Evening, Grant. How you going?
Hi there. How you doing?
Good. Very well, thanks. It's foggy up there in Scotland, is it? You couldn't get on a flight?
Yeah, well, I found out at 9 o'clock this morning. So I was all set for coming down to see you guys, and then fog put an end to that. I was considering a train, but that didn't work out either, so you've got Skype instead.
Modern technology. OK, first things first, how's the injury?
Yeah, it's getting there. I'm hoping to be back playing in 2-3 weeks, so yes, I've started my running, and rehab seems to be going well, so touch wood, I'll get back on the field for Edinburgh soon.
Grant, how are you? Thanks for joining us. How are you feeling about Craig Hubert these days? Have you calmed down, all you Scots? You've had time to reflect. I know you're very upset at the time, understandably so, but he's had a bit of a hard time too. What's your take on it now, on the cold lighted day?
Yeah, I think, well, looking back at the game in general, we're left with a bit of taste in our mouth. It's not really only on the refereeing decision. I think, you know, the game was in our own hands. We had 2 minutes to go. We had a kick to deal with and a line out to deal with. You know, we were probably more disappointed that we didn't manage to deal with that and win the game hands out. Obviously, when you find out that the decision is wrong, it's tough to take, but you know, that's rugby. You know, the referee can't get every decision right, and we respect that, and you know, he's the one with a tough job.
The important thing, I suppose, is to try and kind of park that and reflect on what was a really positive campaign for Scotland. Have you been able to do that?
Yeah, I think guys will be able to do it. I think obviously the first few weeks is tough. I mean, the nature of it being such a disappointment, you know, being so close but yet losing out in the manner that we did, especially having put together, I thought, our best performance of the tournament when it really mattered, which was in that knockout game. But you know, if we look forward to, you know, the Six Nations, we can hopefully take a lot of confidence from the way we played in the World Cup, and you know, build on that and take it forward to being successful when it comes round.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Rugby Tonight, the best bits, and don't forget to hit subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.